Okay, it's Truth Squad, and I'm going to talk to you about the famous guy from India, Gandhi. Gandhi had a very high calibrated level of consciousness. You know, he did all kinds of spiritual things all the time. And yet he was definitely involved in this world. And he looked out and he saw a horrible governance of the country of India, present-day India. It was ruled by overseas tyrants, the British Empire. Why do I call them tyrants? Because the people of India were not voting for the British Queen, but they were ruled by her. Tyrant, that means, basically somebody who shouldn't be ruling over you is ruling over you. Shouldn't be, because they are not legitimate to you. You did not consent. Your country was conquered, or it was bought out by bribery. But the whole point of it was Gandhi, a man of high consciousness, pointed his finger and said, British rule of India is wrong. And he actively worked for independence for India against the British. Now, everyone knows that he used, like civil disobedience. But I really want to tell you that the idea that someone who gets a high vibration of consciousness doesn't have an opinion on whether things on the planet should change or not is stupid. I mean, we have the examples of Jesus calibrating at 1,000 on the scale of human consciousness, and his life story was calling out hypocrites. So, don't think that because, you feel like you're, in an elevated consciousness, that you don't have a responsibility to this planet. And everything is perfect because I feel good right now. That's when you have to double down. You have to say, I feel good right now. Maybe you feel good because, you've got a lovely place to live, and you've got food in your tummy, and, you can turn up the heat if it gets cold. You've got hot and cold running water. But the whole point of the matter is we still don't have reports, accurate reports that you can go to about the state of the world. What's the state of the world in Africa? What's the state of the world in Saudi Arabia? What's the state of the world in China? You can't go. You can't afford to go. So we don't know. So are we going to assume that everything is like really, really good in these places? If we are here, we must be cognizant of what's going on. No more eyes wide shut. It's open your eyes. And if you can't figure it out, then at least you can't figure it out. But keep looking. Keep perceiving. And don't take the pat answer. What's the pat answer? It's like the immediate thing that comes up that gets you off the hook of you having to critically think about what's going on. You have to remember, Jesus said to his followers, you must be as wise as serpents. Who are the serpents? The capitalists, the crooked politicians. So you must understand how their mind works. In other words, what motivates them to be the way they are. And I'll give you the answer. Sex, money, and power. Sex, money, and power motivates scumbags. Low vibrational, and seriously, some of these people are really warped, and what they get off is it's a weird kind of opposite effect. For example, they'd be like Puritan in sexuality. So, as Jesus said, you must be as wise as serpents, which means you really must understand all the different kinds of warped, twisted minds there are on this planet. So you can't be fooled by these serpents. You must be as wise as them and more. So you really cannot close your eyes and say, well, if I didn't learn it in high school, then it's not worth learning. Part of the awakening of consciousness is for it to go and gather more and more and more. Not stagnancy, it's growth. Coming to see things better. To understand things better. To understand things better. You cannot sit in your laurels because you think, I feel good. I feel at peace. You're not a rock, you're in a physical form that's designed to move. And you've got these eyes and these ears to perceive, and then you have your spidey senses that come online for you. So you need to be training to heighten your senses, to heighten your abilities to understand things. Truth Squad says, not too many people really want the dirty task of thinking it through. So instead of thinking it through, meditate on it. In other words, clear your mind meditating. And see what your intuition brings you. My intuition brings these words for you.